Islam. I just have a quick question before we go to the next degree. Just as far as like doing a name change. You know,
Name change and correction.
Yeah, correction.
Name change and correction.
Okay.
Correction and thus change.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But doing it through the courthouses, like does that?
All right, so you
them...
delivered your birthright to them, so now they have jurisdiction in matters that are really allodial or that are substantive or unalienable, which means you're incompetent.
But that gives them...
That means you just gave them jurisdiction in a matter that's allodial.
Okay.
So it's called giving up your birthright.
So
So now you gave them jurisdiction, so what you complain about? And I'm not saying you yourself, but I'm just saying assumptions. This is where we get into assumptions. This is why we got to know the logistical details. Do you know the distinction between rights and privileges? Do you know the distinction between substantive rights and privileges? Allodial rights, unalienable rights. Well, if you knew the difference, you'd answered your own question. But I'm not saying it for you because the question is important because it shares with everyone.
I'm just saying to operate, like, you know, to like, not necessarily
I hear what you're saying.
You know, get malleated.
Recognize the compromise and call it a compromise, but then qualify it by explaining the truth of the matter. You know, because you can't serve two masters. Now, you give them jurisdiction in matters that they have no jurisdiction, then that's called, see, because involuntary servitude is unlawful. However, you want to volunteer, I understand what you're saying. Well, see, I'm voluntary in servitude because I want to do something. Because I haven't figured out how to do it otherwise, so I'm capitulating.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Laziness, yeah.
Say it.
I admit it.
No, any of us.
is.
Say it. Don't dance around this thing. You know, let's get clear, because we need to clear things up. You know, if not for ourselves, for the babies. So they'll have a chance. But they're going to follow the patterns that we keep setting. And if we don't ever have the courage to, you know, just face Goliath, then they're probably guaranteed food, which is what's been happening to us. We keep capitulating. Even though there's remedy, we don't want to work for the remedy. We look for the path of least resistance, which is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's fine, but say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Explain it when we say it. No, not for
What
you.
I'm saying is that giving them, I mean, you
That gives them jurisdiction.
Okay, so that gives them.
That gives them jurisdiction.
Okay.
All right?
We can't ask or get permission. We have to demand.
Yes,
Because of
and
our
now you gotta
birthright.
know that.
Right.
So if I
And
go
you gotta
recommended
be
that
that.
you change
Right.
my name, is that still giving them the jurisdiction?
If
If
you're communicating with them, you're communicating them
I mean, I'm still in
on
corporate
the
world. I
basis
still,
that
you know, operate with
No,
that identity.
all of us are.
I still gotta, you know.
You ain't the only one. All of us are
That's what I'm saying.
compromised.
Yeah.
The problem is recognizing your compromission and admitting your compromission, and then be at the business of doing work to fix it.
Correct.
And then having a knowledge of how to approach it. That's where we at. Why? Because you didn't get in this overnight, you're not getting out of this overnight. But get to work.
Okay.
And don't put your energies in things and organizations that are no worth, that are not really solving this problem, or that are feeding emotions, but are really designed to spin your wheels. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Not unlike when they took over the Niagara movement, converted it into NAACP, and then made sure in the charter that they could never own property. And then people support that as if they're doing their children some good. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Subtleties just like that. Thank you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But yet somebody would know that that's no longer in their interest. And that they're not only spinning their wheels, they're hypocrites, but yet it's assumed to be good for the benefit of our people. Not only that, they cast a spell right in the title. They don't know call people means fake people. So does human rights apply to them? No. Did they agree to that? Yep.
See, that's Afrocentricity, because they say people of color were.
Oh yeah. All right. Hold your breath. That's what's happening to us. The world don't feel sorry for us. You know, just don't worry. Don't be thinking somebody gonna come from other countries talking about we're the light-skinned yellow guys organization, because they're not going to do it. No human beings aren't crayons. We're the only ones that deal with that kind of dizzy stuff. And put that on the civilized world, get rejected and accuse them of racism, which is the species. So let's get past that. Written nature of request. Discovery and disclosure. So if you have an issue, if there's a controversy where someone claims that you owe a debt or debt owing, right? Or that they gave you something, and they move the court to bring remedy for your failure to meet your obligation in this contract. That means they had to deliver to the court for examination such instruments that set up the alleged contract that set up the obligation. If there's an obligation, there's a contract. You go ahead.
So, in this particular case, we'll just, because those contracts are so much.
You always ask for the contract.
Okay,
Demand the contract.
But most of the
Yeah.
time, you're not even gonna have one.
Well,
Because the
well,
contract
and then-
is two signatures, so just based off this contract being fraudulent, then
You got a case, don't you? So you got at least, see how you're thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Now, doesn't this apply to everybody? Shouldn't they be thinking that? And as soon as I say,
Well, you owe $5.50 and you didn't pay me since last week, and so we get ready to take this stuff.
and you supposed to say, oh,
But Taj,
well, Church's Chicken, where I used to work, you see, the manager didn't like me. And I only got 5 hours a week, and you start talking like that when you should be saying, where's the contract?
Okay, the contract's fraudulent.
And if you're in the courtroom and the judge saying, well, it look like you're in here and you're charged with not paying your stuff and your sneaks ain't tied together this week, and you're going, well, let's see, my other, and you start going, no, you're supposed to say, where's the contract?
But if
Discovery. It's called discovery.
There is but if there is a contract,
If there is,
but we signed, but the other party didn't sign.
yes.
It's still fraudulent,
means
right?
it's linear.
It's void.
It's linear. It's void. So it's dead. But it is dead. Dead pledge. Mortgage is dead pledge. All right. So if you know that, you're not going to go in there and talk about, well, see, the dog ate my check. And see, open the mail. You're not going there because you're not going to get into the subject matter.
Because they have no jurisdiction.
You be asking discovery. They're trying to say, yeah, and guess what?
So look, technically, because they have no jurisdiction, I shouldn't even go in there arguing that this contract is fraudulent.
Now, where you're at now,
You're under threat of
you're at,
coercion.
look, you're talking to us. You're not talking to the masses. I know that. You know that. How many people know that?
Very few.
You're making sense from somebody who knows law. You're not making sense to the average person that got them instruments.
If they did, when they got foreclosed on.
They don't even know what foreclosed means.
What if they're
They don't even
working?
know what mortgage means. Stop. They're boys and girls. They're minorities. They can't even damn read. They just deal with belief systems. And they're saved. So you can't talk to them anyway. No, I'm serious. Let's be real. What's wrong with our people that don't even know that they're saved. They're suffering disassociation and don't even know it. And don't go there trying to tell them that either. So let's not go there. Let's keep it simple. Let's deal with facts. If there's an obligation, there's a contract. If a body, a corporate entity, through its representatives and beneficiaries and profiteers, charge you with owing them something and they introduce something into the court, they have to introduce evidentiary instruments that prove a debt owing, prove that you're a party, prove that they're a party, prove by original documents, not some copies, or not some secondary so-called collection debt collector guys, the original owners, the original holders, etc., because that's what must be used to lawfully move the court to issue an invitation to you called a summons, warrant, whatever, to deal with this matter, right? So now when you're coming to the invitation to that tribunal, that you're supposed to know whether it's a tribunal or court or auction house, etc., whatever else they got going on, right? You're supposed to ask under the rule of discovery for all instruments used relative to that case to your person etc., to move this court to invite you here. Because the court has to have it to have a just warrant or issue to you. Meaning it must have already been examined. And if it was not introduced to the court, the judge's obligation is to throw the claim out. Unless you waive your right and don't ask.
Under the 14th Amendment.
Which it doesn't really matter,
Right.
which is part of our problem. You see? But
When these instruments or warrants or whatever is issued to the straw man, though.
well, that's what the 14th Amendment was
What's that
for.
look like you arguing it in your proper person? Though? Like, why am I arguing for this fictitious thing that's not even
Again,
me?
aren't we back to, you know this because you're studying.
Right.
Aren't you also back to,
Well, proclaiming your
yeah,
status
yeah.
in your declaration, they gotta honor it according to the United Nations.
United Nations,
And
Declaration of the
everybody
Child,
else,
all that. But they
yeah.
don't, but you go in there and you know.
You countersuit. If they don't honor it, you countersuit. You countersuit. Because then it's trafficking.
My question
She
is,
knows
why are
this,
you
you know
arguing
this,
for
you know this. Right? Right? I'm talking to you, she's talking to you, you talking to you because y'all know. Everybody here don't know that. What are we doing this for? To bring those who don't know up to the degree. So that they can defend themselves and that they can defend their families. You're making sense to me.
So we need to cancel that.
No, what you need to do is explain the point for the masses knowing that they don't know that.
I don't know how to move, I can talk about it all day.
Logically, it makes sense if you can count. Oh, 2 and 2 is 4, therefore how's somebody gonna tell me that's 3 and 1 ain't 4? And then you got 50% of people that only know what they're swell you talking about, although they think they can count. So we gotta take people out of their belief degree into the fruition degree, because that's where their problem is, because they think they know when they really don't know. So you give them the components so they can see. You see, they don't see. Consider, a year or so ago, you can be a genius. But if you didn't know the real politics, you don't know either. Because you've been in that same cycle going, I'm going to buy me a house,
In a car,
get my mortgage,
go get a PhD.
and you're in the suit too. You understand? And the same thing with the inheritances that you think that you're gonna get, right? From your family and all this stuff, and you ain't getting crap. You understand? Then the corporate state representative is gonna tax you out of it. If they don't take it right out, they're gonna tax you out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't even know what's happening. Work. How many people y'all work? How many of y'all work? And how many of y'all ever filled out a 1040? 1040 income tax form? Right? That's a tribute to England. How many of you knew that? See, now we got all adults, right? That's how easy the test is. And if they haven't done it, they're familiar with it. So you got people paying tribute to England, think they're paying our government, and that's the taxes for our schools, for our children. Yeah, no, they're paying Rome. And that's the Treaty of Rome.
I'm waiting for my copy too out there. Oh, but I just wanted to point out in reference to the tax thing, what had got me prior to coming here, and like I knew some stuff. I thought I knew some stuff, but when I checked
You
that
do know
spot,
some stuff.
no, seriously, Todd, when I checked that spot as a U.S. citizen, it put me back in cattle state, even though I never paid federal and state taxes, and the instrument that they continue to send me, and I'm not intimidated by the federal mafia, but they ain't no tax court. I said, send me a something, because you need to be sending me something that's going to bring me into your court in reference to paying taxes. I ain't paid taxes in 20-something years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But they still send me the instrument.
yeah.
But the thing I learned since I've been coming here, I checked that one block. I checked that. Now, see, I didn't know that before, because I always put down tax exempt, even if they give me a 1099. Cause I normally go
When it
private
really
check.
don't even apply to
Yeah,
you.
it don't even matter now. Now I understand it don't even matter. I ain't filling out none of that.
Yeah,
Cause you owe me.
and you gotta say it though.
Oh yeah.
But remember, your status, even when you make that
So
argument,
they send us something?
your status better be clear.
Oh yeah. That's why I'm here.
So he needs to
That's what I mean.
split the IRS on notice to clear that part, and then
Well, it's
rescind
fictitious
all his
anyway.
contracts.
It's
So-
fictitious anyway.
Who gonna
Yeah,
show
but
up?
I'm just saying, you know that. But when it boils down, they will send the cattle police
Right. So I'm working on that
at
now. That's why I'm
you
here.
or garnish your wages
Mhm.
and do stuff to you, right?
Right.
So it ain't like they ain't coming at you. So we know they're a fraud, but you gotta demonstrate that they're a fraud.
They're gonna come.
You understand what I'm saying to you? You gotta really demonstrate it.
So how you counteract that?
No, because
Don't come
the
in-
counteract for me is that I'm coming to you about my
That's
estate.
Yes.
So,
That's
About
what
my
I'm saying.
estate.
no, the new thing that they're doing when people don't file their taxes, quote unquote, they're gonna do them for you now. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
new
that's
thing
how they
that's in
did it.
place.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
they taking power of attorney.
If you do not, yup.
They're
Ty.
taking,
Employed, you self-employed.
why? Because
Glad you
you're
brought that up,
listed-
sis.
This is what's happening.
You're welcome.
If
They
you're
send me
already
my stuff.
listed
They
as
send it to
state
me.
property, they're trustees, back to trust law, they're taking what? Charge of the estate, and you're the pledge. It doesn't have to be just a mortgage, it's the status, it's the Negro status. That's what the Negro Acts are for.
And he still wants you
That's
to pay a
again, you know
note.
that when we gave y'all, and we gave you the flyers the other day, again, with the Sundry Free Moors Act, and also Resolution 75, and also made mention, sister called the United Nations this past week, making a human violations complaint, and the secretary said, I'm going to give you the number, and I'm going to give you the address. Let me make it clear. Paper and pencil. Status is everything. Status is everything. Gave her the number, the address, and hung up. Right? Now, how many people, we've been telling you all this for years, but she said, and it blew her mind.
Why?
But why did it blow her mind? She's been getting it, she's been coming to Heartland, to the classes. It's because it's
Because of your
confirmation.
opinion.
It was confirmation from outside source.
That's all we need.
From
Confirmation.
representatives of world governments telling her that status is everything. How many of these Negro leaders tell our people status is everything? They ain't going to. Why?
They tell the masses that they say.
No, because most of them is agents.
Sure enough.
With the
And
kickback. With the
you gotta,
kickback.
that's what the 501c3 is for. This is the uncomfortable position, and this is redundant. That's what Malcolm found out. Amongst not only the birthright, this whole principle that these organizations are fraudulent, knowingly.
But the sister just made a point in reference to, so they're gonna do, like they send me the instrument, saying I owe 97,000.
No. You see what we put? Rick,
Yeah.
you met Rick, the
Yesterday.
brother,
Yesterday.
the Chinese brother that come to class.
Was he wasn't at the class last night?
No, you met him, and we put his stuff on the site, his response to the IRS.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Mhm.
That concept
Right,
is the knowing.
right.
But yet it applies to all of our people.
Right.
But it's the concept upon which the instrument is constructed. The words don't have to be exact. You must understand how things work. And what they say, according to your records, according to your information, we agree that you're not liable. But they've been messing with him for 3 years or more. Until he did what? Start flying his colors. Cleared his status up and told them, give me back all my stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then some.
Yeah.
And send me, if you want to send me some form, send me the form that recoups my stuff. How about that? Fred?
Restitution. Restitution.
You understand what I'm saying to you? But the point is, let me read this real quick because we only got about 10 minutes left. Because Dooley's going to give a speech. Now this is a fiduciary reconveyance. This is after they fail to answer the discovery. And so you go to the bank, the so-called bank, and you name the persons who doing business with you, the CEO, etc. And then you would say, I received your correspondence. Of course, that's your setting your status, etc. Flying your seal or your colors. I received your correspondence instrument through the United States mail coming from such and such name bank through such and such representatives, LLC, that dated April 5th, the 5th, 2/11, because this was actually used, so that's why some of the dates are on there. Referencing matters concerning a debt, a loan, a mortgage, or a sale of my inherited private property, etc. Apparently, the threatening and misrepresented instrument was an unsigned and unidentified notice of default and election to sell under deed of trust. Nevertheless, be informed that the misrepresented instrument issued by the representative profiteer operating through and from your corporate entity, didn't mean the bank, is accepted for value, and however, I did not find the required check enclosed. I am sure that as a trustee or FOFR for the account, you are aware that you should have included the check and other profits generated by my estate or property and placed the same in the mail along with the incomplete correspondence. You are hereby authorized to correct that failure or oversight immediately and notified to forward the missing check and profits to me as soon as possible, and any actions, changes, or initiated by the trustees or FOFRs involving or concerning my estate or property requires my unfettered agreement and must be pre-sanctioned by my signature after my having been thoroughly informed in such matters. This includes them assigning that third-party trustee, which they already failed to do. You understand? All right. There is no dispute of the facts. I request settlement and demand the immediate removal from any name, county records, recorder's records of any notice of default and election to sell under deed of trust. I also request immediate adjustment to the account and the immediate closure of escrow. Since my records indicate that the payoff settlement amount provided by the representatives, profiteers of any named bank or mortgage company, that's where you interject, has been redeemed, please provide the original documentary draft note that provided the funds for the loan in question. And if you, the representatives of the banks, etc., are claiming a debt still owing, then disclose that documented information and evidence for the record and provide the documented assessment pursuant to the rules of discovery and the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. Otherwise, as the fiduciary holder of this account, I am authorizing you, the representatives, trustees, to pay it.
That's deep.
And enclosed is a thank you letter on behalf of the representatives of such a bank, whatever the guys claim that they be.
Could be IRS.
Mortgage company, etc.
Hey.
And their account number, say my account number, their account number. And then you have XXX, and you put over the account numbers, right?
Right.
For payment in full and accepted for value, reconveyance, paid in full and accepted for value, deed of trust, paid in full, accepted for value, the account settled and closed. And then place straw name, that straw name, which is the corporate entity, transmitting entity that they created, is the beneficiary of this account. And if there remains any further veiled, hidden, or undisclosed liens on the documentary draft note, or any outstanding FHLMC, loan number, etc., or other derivatives therefrom, please disclose and provide them for my required and informed approval. Your immediate expedient cooperation and response to this request is necessary for my remedy and to provide the closure of this escrow. And you have my authorization to file a claim with the representative of any named entity, a subsidiary of any named title insurance company, attorney in fact, to clear the title on the estate, property of all such liens. And in the event that you or your representatives dishonor or my acceptance of your offer, then please show cause as to why a tort claim should not issue for the tactics you are using in threatening to take or to usurp the property or place the straw man, etc. here, etc. And if I do not hear from you or your representatives or signs within 10 days of receipt of this fiduciary request, I will take this matter into a federal forum of diversity of citizenship. A failure to cease claim or collection activity until timely disclosure and validation of the debt subjects the collector to suit for damages under the Fair Debt Collection Act and voids any legal proceedings, including mortgage foreclosures, etc. Thank you very much, and until then, in propria persona, your name, right, authorized agent, in propria persona, attorney in fact, place straw, etc. And then you do carbon copies or courtesy copies to the comptroller of the currency, to the Secretary of the Treasury, to the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, right? Federal Home Mortgage Corporation, to the Freddie Mac, Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Corporations, ETC, right? Lone Star Mortgages, because this was used, so this is subcategories. First American Title Insurance Company, Plaza Home Mortgage Bank, GE Capital Mortgage Services Incorporated, Wells Fargo, Comptroller of Currency, Secretary of State Treasury, ETC, Internal Revenue Service, etc. Pennsylvania or other Department of Corporations, ETC, Freddie Mac, J.C. Watt, Securities and Exchange Commission, ETC. That's a reconveyance. You just claimed the estate. You see? But it's on record. Right now, you must be conscious and create an allodial instrument in your proper person. Then you post it in your records and make it publicly known. Logically, you're going to send it to the county. They're not going to publish it because it's over for them because they got to fire somebody. So don't expect them to be cooperative. That's why the prophet Raleigh told you to maintain that paper.
So when you say construct your own instrument, you mean the building permit?
Say again?
The building permit? The allodial building permit? The
What?
allodial build, not permit. The
Well, that's-
allodial.
You mean
The
that?
allodial title, that thingy on the website, that's in PDF.
Oh, no, I used that when I built the community center.
Okay, but you can
Because-
use that too, right?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but that's the
But that's
concept.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, that's the
Yeah.
concept.
That's the concept.
Okay,
All right, y'all?
all right.
Now, because the time is limited, Brother Abdullah will come up and bring some information, both a message. But if you understand that concept applies, but it doesn't apply to black people. It only applies to civilized people. It applies to people who honor their mothers and fathers. Without a free national name, that law don't apply to you.
Stay in
You understand what I'm saying?
cattle mode. Cattle
Because
mode.
everything is status. Status is everything. That's what the sister was telling, the secretary was telling that sister when she called the United Nations for, human rights violations. Islam, Duli,
Islam.
Dula Iltali Mostly Bay.
Everyone has a sign-in sheet? Each BlackandNobel. I want to thank BlackandNobel for having us here for the past 2 years. They've been very accommodating to us. The classes have opened their doors to us, and there have not been any charges for the classes. Starting in March, BlackandNobel is asking for a $5 donation starting in March, third Saturday in March, third class in March. And we have a sign-in sheet. We'll make that known. I'll call Ross Providers, let Ross Providers know too. If I can't get in contact with her, to post that $5 donation on the website. All right, so we can just give you a notification. Starting in March, there will be a $5 donation. BlackandNobel, and then what they'll do is half of that will go to the store, and half of that will go to the Wars of the Round Table and Boys Similar. All right, so they've been very accommodating. I want to give want us to give BlackandNobel a round of applause. Very, very accommodating. They're definitely doing some great work. In fact, BlackandNobel will be celebrating her 10-year anniversary, starting in starting next month. They are launching a 10-month campaign, marketing campaign, advertising. They letting people know that they've been in business for 10 months, for 10 years. And I said her because institutions are female. Right, that's why I said her, not you.
I'll see you next
Right, so that was not, that's a proper grammar. But actually, y'all, since I'm on that topic, things have gender. Things have gender. In Latin, the Latin-based languages, Hebrew, Arabic, Egyptian, Metanetter, things have gender. This has a gender. All right, so casa, that's a female, that's a feminine gender. So when the Europeans, what they did was they removed the gender concept of things. So when you're just reading straight English, that concept of gender is lost. So I just want to throw that at you. I've been, as some of you know, I've been on quite a few blog talk shows, because I have my website, more Civilized, I'll put that on the board. More civil letter.
Abdullah.
Yes.
I have a question before I forget. The classes that start in February, I know registration starts after Monday, correct? But
Yes,
I
I talk about etymology class, yes. Registration class.
Where are they going to be
It's
held
usually
at?
start after Dr. King's birthday.
Temple.
Temple University, Pass Up, Pan-African Studies Community Education Program.
Yup.
Registration started the 14th. Registration started the 14th at 1509 CCB Moore.
So it already started?
So what's from registration for what? All right, so that's on
That's the last day?
so that's from January 14th to January 23rd. All right, that last, so that's
And
from,
what's the latest time?
what's the time?
Wednesday. So Wednesday is the last day though, that's the 23rd.
All right, so this is the time. This is 1509 CCB Moore.
Second floor.
Second floor. Second floor. Passive office.
Who office?
PASA, Pan-African Studies, Pan-African Studies Community Education Program. PASA. 1509, yeah. 1509 CCB Moore. This is my etymology class you're referring to. My classes will be on Mondays from 7 to 9. Mondays from 7 to 9 starting, what is that class? Third, I haven't gotten the book yet.
The second and
The third usually starts the third week of February.
What's second and passive? What's that?
Second floor.
Second floor.
I apologize. Second floor.
And Abdullah, book. Where do, like, we can get it from a bookstore, a textbook, or what?
You get books from me. You're gonna use my
No copy.
So you want to provide it, or we gonna?
You buy it from me.
Okay.
I have use the books that I've written.
How much and when do we buy the book? When you want us to get?
You can buy. I have a few back there now. I'll have some in the classroom.
Okay.
Right. Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is the book here. Here. All right, so that way I can get the proper. All right, so this is.
What time are the classes?
Extended. I'm gonna get a registration period Monday, January 14th through January 25th. January 14th to January 25th. That's from 10 to 5. 10 to 5.
Registration.
Yeah, registration.
And she said the latest day is on Wednesday?
Yeah, they have extended registration hours.
On what's that?
January 16th and the 23rd.
Okay.
January 16th and January 23rd are the extended registration hours from 10 to 7. 10 to 7. So this is here is the extended registration hours, January 16th to January 23rd. say? Oh yeah, yes. You know what? I'm just writing down what's on here. Right? Yeah. Y'all just follow. I'm just writing the information down. Day pass. Because I'm looking at this. I'm thanking the brother for providing this. I haven't gotten this yet in the mail. Where you get this from?
Nutrition and Herbs, Cincinnati, Dr. Tony Lorenzo Moore's home.
All right. So
Every day except for Sunday. No matter
so they're getting them out there again. All right.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
All right, they're getting them out there again. All right, good. Because they used to have them all over the city. All right.
So are you teaching it through the university or?
Yeah, through PASA, Temple University PASA.
Okay.
Yes, this.
Okay. Yeah, I never.
I've been 9 years now.
Okay.
All right. That's my introduction to etymology course. All right.
So,
Yes.
no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you teach it.
No. Yeah, I don't have much time anyway.
Yeah,
No.
go ahead. Because you were saying introduction. I'm about to say like you have a level 1, 2, and a 3.
Well, I used to do the advanced class. I did the advanced class. I taught strictly grammar. But what it was is that when I first taught it, I had 7 students in my advanced class. Those students followed me.
Okay.
And then the second time I had about 7 to 8. And then the attendance was dropping, but my attendance we maintained with the introduction. I was getting 25, students. But I won't go into the. I will just keep it like that. I get about 25 every semester.
We have survived.
For about, I think for 12, 13 straight semesters, I was getting 25 students. I mean, even in the summer. I mean, yes. I have an etymology and reading page on my website. I have an etymology and semantics page. I have an etymology and reading page, a semantics page, a grammar page. The grammar page is not extensive. I'm going to have to add to that. I will be adding to that in the near future. I have also it's been about a week now, I have a video page. I have a video page on the website where you can purchase videos, Taj's videos, my videos, Zodiacus, Sister Valera's, Rob's, etymology in Hebrew. All right, I have hers. I have about 16 of hers on there that you can order. I have a PayPal account. Just order, that's already set up. It's a video page. I have snippets of 10 different videos of mine on the video page. Etymology. It's more civilized.net. I've been requested. People been calling me. People been texting me. Emailing me, and they told me to stay the course with my book, Wars of Masonry. Also, they've been very excited about how I present religion and Masonry. And they have cleared up a lot of misconceptions.
I like the way you
so that's why I talk about that, and so I figured to try to add an aspect that you don't normally get. One of the, you got Groundhog Day coming up, February 2nd, and Valentine's Day. All right? We've been told that Groundhog Day, or the holidays in general, are European holidays, having nothing to do with us. That's a misconcept. And that misconcept disassociates us from our culture. While the Europeans are in line with our culture, all right, because see this whole Eurocentric thought, Europeans aren't Eurocentric. Make it very clear, y'all. Europeans are not Eurocentric. Europeans are Afrocentric. So it's meaning if we thought like the Europeans. Meaning seriously, meaning that if we had the knowledge that they have today, we would be in the White House right now. The Europeans are nowhere near we were when we were ruling thousands, But I'm saying, but if we were in their position as far as knowledge today, we'd be fine. We'd be running our own land, our own government. Europeans have knowledge, y'all, and they're not Eurocentric. So that whole misconcept of this European thought. What is European thought? Killing, lynching, raping, stealing, weapons of mass destruction. All right, then let's. But if you talk about anything about civilization, rituals, garbs, ceremonies, dances, music, holidays. You talking that? Well, then that's not European. All right, so let's make it very clear. Europeans did not establish a calendar. The calendar that you use all your life is not a European calendar. I don't know no Gregorian calendar. You can't show me a Gregorian calendar. I'll clear it up. I'll clear it up. You cannot show me a Gregorian calendar. You cannot show me a Julian calendar. It doesn't exist. I know what we call it. I know what they told us to call it. All right? I'm talking about the foundation of it. That's where I'm coming from. Where they get the 365 in 1/4 day? Where they get 30 days in a month? Who mapped out the deacons, 36 deacons? Where did they get that from? All right? I have very little time, so I just want to give you that overview, but I want to be more specific here. We're going to talk about Groundhog Day and Valentine's Day, the so-called European holiday. Please. Please. All right? So let's talk about that. I'm going to give you some reference points first. I'm going to give you some reference points so that you can research this. You got St. Philip. In the 9th century, Romanian monk. And what he did was he researched the correlation between the holidays, the weather pattern, and the animal hibernation patterns or habits. This is what we're leading up to Groundhog Day. You know, why does Europeans celebrate this Groundhog Day? You know, I'm Afrocentric. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't running around watching no Groundhog. You know what I mean? Shucks, that's European stuff. That's so Afrocentric, folks. I was one of them. Was one of them. Was. Past tense. One of them. All right. So now, looking at the, I'll give you another point, just so you can give you some information about the. There's another study. Stan. This is what I'm doing is giving you some scientific information. Give you some scientific information. This is reference points for scientific background information on animal hibernation habits and weather patterns, so that you can have support. All right. This is a professor emeritus of biology at Pennsylvania State University, and what he did was he studied groundhog hibernation. He studied groundhog hibernation. And then there's another person here, Terry. Terry L. Root. Terry L. Root from Stanford University, and she also studied groundhog hibernation. Stanford University. There are paintings in caves that are 14,000 years old of groundhogs. Paintings of groundhogs in caves 14,000 years. Groundhog deals with see what it is a preparation, understanding the behaviors of animals as the weather patterns changes. And by looking at animals, you can see that there'll be a change in the season. In this case, the onset of spring. Spring is right around the corner. And you can recognize that in the animals' behaviors and also by observing the stars. And so now we're leading right into February 14th, Taj's birthday. Taj is solar return, which is Valentine's Day. So Taj has a good day. Taj has a good day, not a European holiday. February 14th. So let's talk about that. Well, who's heard of the star Arcturus? You heard of the star Arcturus? Who's heard of the chronicle rising of Arcturus? We've heard of the helical rising of a star. What about the chronicle rising? I'll write that down. Everyone have this? All right.
Does that happen like in July?
No, that's the helical. That's the helical rising of Sirius.
Okay.
We're talking about. Now we're talking about
Taurus.
Yeah, Taurus. You're looking at the chronicle. Of any star, that's when a star rises in the evening, right after sunset. So this is an astronomical term. So you have this. You also have helical, which is an astronomical term. When you have a star and the sun that rise at the same time, or helical setting, where you have the star and sun that sets. So in this case, we're going to talk about the chronicle rising of this, the fourth largest star. Guess what color the star is, y'all?
Blue.
We're talking about Valentine's Day. Hey, go ahead. We're talking about Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
I said February 14th. Red, right? Isn't that the color y'all seeing? Red?
Right.
Well, that's the color.
Okay.
Is that a coincidence?
Is that because of the stage of the star?
All right. This is the fourth largest star. Sirius is the first. Sirius is the largest. Taurus is the fourth largest star and it's red. That's where the colors balance. That's where the red comes from. Used in Valentine's Day. It has an astronomical origin or basis. See, I'm presenting this so that we can have a scientific and astronomical explanation for what we call, because of misunderstanding, because of the lack of knowledge, European holiday, what causes us to separate from them, to disassociate. So this is why I'm doing this. So we got this, the fourth largest star. All right, it's red. So we call it the giant red star. Valentine's Day. Now let's talk about Cupid. Where did Cupid come from? Bow and arrow? So that's the European thing. Well, you know about Orion's belt, the archer. Orion's belt is called the archer because to find Sirius, you find Orion, because Orion leads the way. And the Greeks call it the archer. All right? So Cupid. So you're looking at the bow and arrow. Now, a Taurus, let me give you the etymology of a Taurus. Bear, guardian, or watcher. Now, question. See, the etymology gives you clues. So now the question is, why is it called the watcher of bear? Why? How's that name connected? Let's place that name in the context of astronomy. Well, it's called that because it is the watcher of the bear. It's in the constellation I think you pronounce that Weeks. Has this. It's called a double Italian dot. This is a diacritical mark. That's a diacritical mark. You know, sometimes they'll call it a double Italian dot.
Is it like a vowel?
So it's used for pronunciation. You also have, it's a tilde. Tilde is a diacritical mark. All right? And so this is, Taurus is in the constellation. And what this does, it actually extends to the Great Bear and Little Bear. And the Great Bear and Little Bear are called Ursa Major, and Ursa Minor. Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. So it actually extends to that. And so this here spear, because it actually points to the Great Bear, and our Taurus is so close to the Great Bear, so it's actually the watcher or overseer of the Great Bear, or that's why it's called a Taurus, and that's where you got the bow and arrow from. And so what this does is actually lets us know a sign that spring is near.
Oh, okay.
Because as you know, spring is near. In the 40 days, the reason why 40 days, who was in the mountain for 40 days? For 40 days. For 40 days. Why 40 days? 40 days is the period of a seed germination. 40 days. See, these numbers have its origin in biology, astronomy. That's why 40 days.
It's like Noah, 40 days, 40 nights.
Exactly. And then also makes it also clear too, and I'm glad you said that, this concept of a 24 hours, a 24-hour day or 24 hours in a day. It's not 24 hours in a day. Why? What does the word day mean?
A degree?
Shine or light. So is it day now?
No.
So it can't be 24 hours in a day.
Right.
There's 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in a night, but not 24 hours in a day. When you measure the nighttime, you use the stars to measure nighttime. So there's a system, different system. When you measure the daytime, you use the sun and the shadow. Groundhog sees the shadow. Let's talk about the shadow now. I talked about this before, about the shadow. Well, and a tekken, or what the Greeks call an obelisk, is that as a sundial, as the sun rises, or is apparently to rise, it casts a shadow. And you can determine the time of day it is, or time of season it is, based on the length of the shadow. The Europeans have in the lodges what's called a checkerboard floor. They'll have it in the Blue Lodge at the George Washington Smithsonian National Memorial Museum. They have a checkerboard floor and an altar, and then you have three candles. Now the checkerboard floor is actually units of each tile represents a unit of measure, a cubit. A cubit, C-U-B-I-T, is an ancient unit of measure. So as the sun rises, it casts a shadow. You have the obelisk and it casts a shadow. And you can look at the length of the cubes, how long the shadow is, and that lets you know what time of season it is. And so that the concept of the groundhog seeing the shadow or not seeing the shadow. Yes.
Are you teaching astrology and astronomy in that class?
Well,
I know you get deep into the subject, so I know you're going to touch on it.
As I talk about it,
exactly.
People, Sister Shirley knows. A word, see, in order for you to have a clear understanding of a word, you must place it in its culture setting.
Okay.
It's what's called setem and levin. What the Europeans have taught us is is that we analyze word. You don't analyze a word outside of its setting. You don't take a word and then analyze it by itself. It must be analyzed in the context of the culture in its proper time. That's how you study words. It's no studying words by separately. You study words in the cultural context. How old is this word? When does this word come about? What is the culture setting that surrounds this word? Doesn't matter what word it is, and you analyze all words the same that way. And so this is what I do. I actually teach you how to do that. You know, morphology, comparative method, phonology. You know, how words transliterate from one language to another. So I give you the skills so you can actually see that the Europeans are actually taking words and really transliterating from one language to another. For example, the word Allah. Well, the AL comes from the Egyptian, RA, wow. And the AH is moon. So you have the sun and the moon in the word Allah. Balance, sun and the moon in the word Allah. So you have the RA, and the RA is AL in Arabic and EL in Hebrew. Same word. Same family. Same family of word. Same family of word. All right, so that's the key there. All right? Now let's talk about, let's look at what Lent is. What is Lent? Well, Lent is actually December 25th. Why? Why is Lent December 25th?
Because that's when the sun begins to ascend again.
That's exactly. And that's the day, that's the time which days begin to lengthen. The days begin to lengthen on December 25th in the northern hemisphere. The sun is at its lowest point of elevation, or dies, or Jesus dies on the cross on December 21st. Jesus is in the tomb for 3 days, or the sun hovers for 3 days, and after the third day, the sun begins its ascent. And then from that day on, the days will get longer by degree. So the first day that the days begin to lengthen is December 25th, Christmas. Yes.
That's not true. December 21st, you begin at when on the calendar it marks the 21st. By running our site, it says 22nd, so I figured it was lying.
Well, it's 21st at 6 o'clock, or sometimes starting in the evening. Right. But the 3 days is where the sun is at its lowest point, because it actually stops. Solstice means stand still.
The 25th starts again.
The 25th is now begins its northerly ascent. The 21st is where it's at its most southerly point from the equator. I mean, it dies. Jesus dies on the 21st. It's at its lowest point of elevation. And then it stands still or hovers for 3 days. And then at that, on the 25th, it begins its northerly ascent. That's the days, at that time, the days get longer.
All right, so what happens at the summer solstice?
The summer solstice is the reverse. The summer solstice is where the sun is at its highest point of elevation, furthest south or north of the equator. For hovers for 3 days, June 24th, the Europeans say it's an ancient celebration called the celebration or festival of Oni, or St. John's. Celebration of Festival of St. John's on June 24th, St. John the Baptist water, and that's tied to the flooding of the Nile River. Onis or John in the Babylonian means it's Onis. It means fish. And fish is a symbol, an ancient symbol of fertility, going back to the Dogons and the Dagon. Dagon means fish. The Pope and archbishops wear a mitre, which is in the form of a fish, symbol of fertility. So the fish didn't come. The symbol for the fish didn't come about because the Europeans established the church in the age of Pisces. That's false. The symbol of the fish is over 10,000 years old. That's what I'm saying, because when you say that, then you're limiting the origin of it. It didn't start with the Europeans. These symbols are ancient, but the symbols have a function in astronomy. It just doesn't mean fertility. Why does it mean fertility? Why was it used in the culture? Once again, analyze it in its culture setting. Key. Very key. My time is limited here, and I wish I had more time, 6:31, because there's a program that starts at 7 o'clock. Any questions? Any questions? Before I say that, before you have any question, my purpose again, y'all, is to get you to embrace your culture. Embrace it. You can have intelligent dialogue with Europeans. You can have intelligent dialogue with the quote-unquote, and I was one of them, Afrocentric folks, and I was one of them. What I mean by that is that thinking that the holidays are Europeans. That's what I mean by Afrocentric folks, because they think that the holidays are Europeans. I'm saying I thought that. And thereby I was empowering the Europeans because I was disassociating myself from the astronomy, from the energy of the days. All right, that's what I mean. Go ahead.
I was wondering how long is the age, and does the universe have like a cycle, like a down cycle?
2008 is 2,160 years. The great year is 25,920 years. Then you divided that by 4, you have what's called the 4 great seasons. The 4 great seasons, that gives you 6,460. 6,460 times 4 is 25,920. And the great years are marked by Taurus the bull. The 4 great seasons. The 4 great seasons are marked by Taurus the bull, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio. They use a eagle, and then Aquarius. Those are the 4 markers. Why those 4?
Yeah, what about Aries?
No, I'm saying those are the 4 markers of the 4 great seasons. The Sphinx. The Sphinx represents the solstice points. The Sphinx represents the 2 solstice points. We have the Aquarius and Leo. Aquarius and Leo. That's what it is. So and those are astronomical markers. They're not just there for aesthetic purposes. You know. All right, so I once again, we have to close out because there's a program that starts at 7. So any other questions? Just one more question. Oh yeah, thank you. Next session is every 3rd Saturday. The 3rd Saturday next month. The 3rd Saturday next month, but the donations won't begin until March. On that same day, there's a program, a breathologist. A breathologist will be here at 7 o'clock. Flyers will be here at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 9, right after our class. Our class will end at 6:30. All right, I'm helping putting together this program. I saw the sister in New York in October. She's dynamic. Sister Aya. Sister Aya. All right, Sister Aya. She is a spiritualist in the etymological sense of the word. If you come here next month, third Saturday, after our class, you will see a spiritualist. She is a spiritualist in the etymological sense of the word. A spiritualist is a breathologist. If you're not talking that, I don't care what nobody says to you. You ain't talking spirituality. And spirituality ain't this. Bro, brothers and sisters, we've been played. And what she would do is she would talk about increasing your energy through breathing. And as you increase your energy, your chakras, stimulate the higher brain senses. Now your thoughts, now your prayers, all right, what you say will be magnified in energy. That's where it means that prayer can change things. It means that once you increase your vibratory rate, your higher brain senses, now what you say will begin, because it begins your mind. Your mind is powerful. Begin to activate the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, the nervous system, the medulla oblongata. Europeans have not, they're not spirit. People talk about spirituality, please. Activating the mind, and the word Jew, once again, God and Jew, these are connected, y'all. God and Jew are connected, and function, they're connected. Dealing with the higher functions of the mind. This is not a people. Jews not a people. It's not ethnicity. Not nationality of any people on this planet. This with higher brain senses. But once again, the Europeans took the word out of this category of higher brain senses, higher brain function, mental development, and got you think it's a people. They took the word out of this category, higher brain senses, higher brain function, think you think it's an entity outside of yourself. That's the trick. The disassociated us from our culture, our language, our land, our birthright, our national sovereignty, our national government. And that's the whole mission. What is this the most divine national movement position is? Is to realign you, reconnect you back to all that. All right. Once again, thank you again. Peace.
Appreciate you, brother Dula.
Everyone sign in?
I didn't get you to sign in.
Oh, you sign. I got to sign in too.
Right off the Broadway sub stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shot so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You want it, we got it. Mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. BlackandNobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive. Every member of the team is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they wanna hide it from us, but we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding the bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel.